What's going on, everybody? Welcome into 104 Through the Fans post-game live as the Broncos lose another close one, DMac. Just when you think that it can't get any worse, it does. They lose to the Baltimore Ravens 10-9 on a Brandon McManus field goal. The Broncos offense marched down the field as close as they could. McManus still couldn't do it. And this defense, my goodness, this defense really showed up today. Obviously, them being the highlight, but they're still not able to get it done. It's just another day, another disappointment, DMac.
Yeah, we got so much stuff going on. Thank you. I got Coach Prime. We're watching Coach Prime here, which is, there's my wife. There she goes. She's wearing a CJ Anderson shirt. Thank you. But I just had to get some numbers and stats up here too, Rachel. So, yeah, I mean, that was weird. That was wild. Deion Sanders is talking right now. Yeah. And there's all sorts of crazy energy, excitement, and people are so fired up. And meantime, as that's happening,
the Broncos are playing.
The Broncos defense is collapsing at the same exact time. I mean, it was wild. It was absolutely wild that both things were happening at the same time, where this Broncos defense, which played so good, I mean, so amazingly good, would just somehow collapse at the very, very end, Rachel. I guess I shouldn't be surprised by anything, but man, I mean, how many fourth downs and third down? I mean, what did the Ravens have to do on that last drive to keep it going?
It was really the Pat Surtain pass interference that kind of switched the momentum, it felt like, at least in my personal opinion. I mean,
what down was that on? Because I was going back and forth with the Broncos and Prime. What down was that on?
I really want to say second.
Second down?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you got at Alex, you got a helmet to helmet hit there. Yep. You got I don't know. You got to give Huntley credit for just making some great plays, but oh my gosh, Rach! I mean, it was just stop them.
Who's the loss on? Is it on the defense because they did collapse, or is it on the offense because again they can't do anything? They can't get the ball moving, and they can only score 9 points.
I'm gonna put it on both of them here, Rachel. And the defense played outstanding this game, but you got to. I don't care what's going on. You got to. When you have a chance to end and win a game, you got to make a stop. And they had to score a touchdown, Rachel. It wasn't good enough to get a field goal. They had to convert on a fourth down at like their own 20-yard line or something. Yeah. I mean, no, you gotta get that moment. You just lost a game where you were +2 and giveaway takeaway. You had the only turnovers.
I know.
So we talked about it on the pregame show with me and Mike Evans that the defense would have to, first of all, get some sort of takeaway and be able to produce points out of it. And they did one time, but they needed to do both times. And who's it on? I mean, this was about to be a gargantuan upset. Just a huge upset. I don't know, man. I guess at the end of the day, I put it on the coaching. When you lose close games or you win close games, it's coaching decisions that tend to make the difference. This team is just absolutely positively snake bit as they will finish under 500 for the 6th time in a row. They will miss the playoffs for the 7th time in a row. But it wasn't the blowout that I expected. They fought hard. They did. It's just like, you got it, guys. It's a backup quarterback. You're killing them. You're doing great. I mean, the offense is just abysmal. They had a good opening drive, and then it's just a bunch of crap after that. And we'll look at some numbers to straighten that, to confirm it. So I'm not mad necessarily at the defense, Rachel. It's just like, golly, guys, come on. It was right there. Yeah. It was right there.
How long was the one McManus missed, DMac?
It had to be over 60 yards.
I was going to say, I was running up to get on the show. That way we could go live. So I didn't actually get to witness it. So I was just curious if it was in that 50-yard range.
I can definitely check it out.
It's just another, every single week.
It was on target. It was, Rachel, it was on target. How far was it? 63-yard attempt. 63-yard attempt at sea level, and it was a few yards short. It was right on target. It just did not have the leg. And
what do you think about Russ running it?
What's that?
What do you think about Russ running it and taking the hit?
I thought it was great.
Me too.
You gotta do it. Yeah, you gotta make plays in this league. You've gotta put yourself out there. And Joe, good. You gotta do what you gotta do. So I mean,
the defense.
Everybody's saying, "Oh, this guy gets hurt or that guy." It's football, Rachel. Guys get hurt playing football. So if your quarterback isn't a threat or can pick up third downs here and there or needed yardage, you're just dead in the water. You got to be able to do it every once in a while. What's
your concern percentage for Jerry Jeudy? Because in the third and the fourth, he was on the sideline. People said that he was watching the game towards the end in that final minute on the final drive. He does come out. But obviously, if they're not using him, that ankle must still be bothering him.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he's hurt. He probably was pretty heroic just to play, period. He's definitely suffering from something. And then you had Cortland Sutton go out with a hamstring injury, so you don't have him. I mean, you got I'm looking at Russ here. I don't know. The numbers actually look okay. 17 of 22 for 189. 2 sacks. That's it. But no touchdowns. No interceptions, though. Yeah. And they ran the ball. I mean, they ran the ball more than they threw it. 28 to 22. You totally got the Ravens off their game. The Ravens are a running team. They ran it 28 times. They passed it 37 times. But you needed something, man. The offense needed to get a score there before they punted it away again. You gotta get those moments. I mean, how many punts? I mean, what are we talking about? Montreal, Washington, or Corliss Waitman, 7 punts. The Ravens punted it 6 times. That's a lot, Rage. 7 punts.
Here's why I don't think you can blame the defense. 2 interceptions and 4 sacks. I mean, that's just like they did everything. And honestly, DMac, I was expecting this defense to come out here. I don't know if you were. Just with all the drama that seemed to go on this week, I was expecting him to really break if one thing went wrong. And it just felt like that they were rock solid together as a core and as a group. It just felt like they were rock solid all the way up until the end.
Yeah, we look at time of possession last week where the Panthers had the ball 14 minutes more than the Broncos. Well, that was even. In fact, it was going towards the Broncos' end of things, but, you gave up a long drive. Yeah. You gave up a long drive for a field goal, and it tipped the scale in terms of time of possession. 32-29 for the Ravens, 27-31 for the Broncos. So it does go in the Ravens' favor, but I mean, not like it was before. Third down, the offense was terrible. I mean, at the end of the day, you were 2 for 12 on third down. 272 total yards, but you didn't turn the ball over. So because you don't turn the ball over, you don't give them any easy possessions. And at the end of the day, gosh, I'm about to go Rachel Beal and curse. I mean, you had it.
We get fed up with this, sheesh. We get fed up.
You had it, Rachel.
I know. And I'm actually curious to everybody watching. Let us know in the comments. Did you believe that this was going to be the game that the Broncos were actually able to get a win? Because all the signs were pointing towards it, right? Anytime the Baltimore got close to scoring, there was an interception. Justin Simmons, hell of a game. But it just felt like, oh, this is going to be it. And then, of course, this happens. But everyone is saying, oh, fire Hackett, fire Peyton, fire the whole thing. And then I saw one comment on here, too, that said that the Russell Wilson trade is going to go down as one of the worst ones in history. Your thoughts, DMac?
It's trending in that direction.
Do you think so?
14. Hold on. 15. Wow, Rachel, that was an 18-play. That was an 18-play drive. That the defense. 18-play. How much time did that take up? Yeah. 18-play drive. Golly, Rach, you can't do that, man. You can't do that. 18-play drive, 91 yards, 4 minutes and 34 seconds. Jeez, man.
The Broncos broncoed. It's all on coaching, right?
I mean, I guess
And here's what's sad, DMac. Here's what's sad is this is another loss. And I don't expect this ownership group to do anything this week. All the other weeks I've been saying, oh, they're going to have to fire somebody. They're going to have to make a change this week. I don't expect that. Why should I?
You shouldn't this week because this was such a close game. They really should have won. I mean, I can't believe they didn't win under the circumstances that. Although, who's to say the drive took 4 minutes and 34 seconds? Who's to say they don't punt the ball back to the Broncos and the Broncos have another 3 and out? I mean, how many 3 and outs did they have in this game? I mean, it was kind of ridiculous, And then in the last drive, they kind of get there. They got a field goal attempt. They did move the ball a little bit, and it's because Russ did run. But don't forget, Rachel, they did. They took a stupid timeout early in the third quarter because they couldn't get their act together. So they just burned a timeout that probably would have been pretty useful. Because if
which falls back on.
Well, if they have the timeout, they can use the middle of the field, call a timeout, and probably get down the field a little bit further than have to go out of bounds. Mm-hmm. And they weren't able to use that as well. And I don't even know what that was. Some just, miscommunication, unorganization, some lousy thing. You knew you're going to need all of your timeouts. You can't just piddle them away. So I think the Broncos, though, nobody's getting fired after this. This is like big time moral victory.
But it's the same stuff over and over and over again. And I'm interested to see if Nathaniel Hackett gave us the exact same speech as always as we bring in James Merlat. It's just the same old stuff, which is why you're like, oh, something has to change, right? Something has to change, DMac, and nothing's changing.
Nothing's changing. Listen, I give them a certain amount of credit. I mean, especially the defense for keeping this just unbelievably close. But of course, let's keep things in perspective, Rachel. The Ravens did this with their backup quarterback. So our $250 million quarterback didn't come through the same way the backup quarterback, who's I think is out of his third year out of Utah, Huntley. He's a nice looking quarterback. He had a great time at Utah. He hasn't really played a whole lot. His first completed pass of the year was in this game. Mm-hmm. That's it. His first completed pass happened today of the year.
Yep.
We lost to that guy. We couldn't beat that guy. We couldn't beat Sam Darnold. We couldn't beat Zach Wilson, who was benched. I mean,
but Russ had a not a bad game. I think his rating was 102.3. It's not like he played terrible. 17 to 22, 184, no, 0 interceptions, 0 touchdowns.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, you look at it, but you got to drill down on those numbers. Those are some good numbers, sort of.
Was it the playbook? What? What is it? It has to be the playbook, right? Your quarterback doesn't have bad numbers. You're throwing behind the sticks on every third down. So, I mean, that's clearly really working. I'm not sure. Is it just the playbook and the coaching 100%? Can you not put that on Russ because he has good numbers?
Well, you just could not convert on third down again, Rachel.
But it's because they throw behind the sticks. They never give them the opportunity.
Sure. So everything was going. I mean, a lot of these yards too were on a couple of big chunk plays. One specifically to Jerry Jeudy, and we did say that. We did talk about it. The Ravens are a pretty stout defense, but their secondary gives up big plays. Mm-hmm. And the Broncos, cashed in on a couple. 2 for 12 on third down, Rachel. That's just not, good enough. But the Ravens were 3 of 13 on third down.
Yes.
3 of 13.
Yep. I'm reading the comments now.
Frustrating.
Mark says 184 is good? Question mark, question mark, question mark. Wow, where did we go wrong? Mark.
Yeah, I feel you.
Oh boy.
What was he talking about? Passing yard? Yeah, passing yards 184. Yeah, okay. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, true. You know what? There's only one area that George Payton has impressed, and it's actually Greg Dulcich. He's the only thing so far that they've gotten right.
Dulcich looks all right.
Right. He's the best player on this team right now. On the offense, for sure.
He certainly was today. 6 catches for 85 yards, along with 30. So 6 catches on 8 targets. Yeah, he was good. Really good. Really good. He can't block. But,
okay.
Who
else beats him on the offense for a better player? I think all throughout the entire season.
Rachel, there's a crazy YouTube video. This dude is doing Russell Wilson's bathrooms versus touchdown passes. Nice. And it was a good afternoon for bathrooms today because there were no touchdown passes and they only have 8 on the year and he's got 12 bathrooms. So the bathrooms rallied this particular week. You got to score a touch. I mean, Rachel, their average in scoring just went down. We realize that, right? I mean, it was like at 14.1. It's going to go down now.
It's like 11.
Is it 11 right now?
I'm pretty sure.
It's not 11.
I'm pretty sure it went down to 11 points per game for the Broncos.
Come on.
Hold on. I'm pretty sure I just saw
that.
We're
at 14-1. 11?
I mean, they scored 9 today, DMac. 9.
Right. I'm not a math major, but yeah.
I can't find the nope. So right now, I don't know if this is updated after the win today, but it says 14.3. The opponent though is 17.6. Gosh, this defense is so good and it's just being wasted. It's so unfortunate.
That is so true, Rachel. But what the stop them? Like you're right. Stop them. Stop them. Defense.
But how many times do you have to stop them before you can't physically?
One more time. Rachel, one more.
How many times did they stop the Ravens? I thought this game, okay, when I said this morning when we were on our digital pregame show, I for sure thought that this was going to be a blowout. I thought it was going to be like 34-6.
I did too.
At 10 points, that's all they gave the Ravens. Granted, they did have a backup quarterback in. Lamar Jackson obviously leaves. It's going to be interesting to see what happens with him. Obviously, a knee injury. Anytime you see that, you're like, ooh, that's not good. But 17.6 points per game. That's all this defense has allowed. That's a really solid defense.
Yeah, the Ravens
God,
had the ball.
So upsetting.
The Ravens had 11 drives, and they only scored twice.
Oh, my God. Okay. Tommy just put this in the comments. DMac, how long can you hold your bladder? When is it the driver's fault for not stopping to let you out? Tommy, I love it, my friend.
Oh, my God. The fights my wife and I have had about that particular topic. She's repulsed by my my urgency and my lack of embarrassment when it comes to that topic.
Oh my gosh.
I
mean, it's true. This team is wasting a very good defense because this offense can't do anything. Nothing. 9 points. Here we go. 9 points, and we thought this team was going to get a win. How pathetic is that?
The Broncos had 3 scoring drives, and one of those scoring drives came because of Justin Simmons' first of 2 interceptions.
Yeah.
And that was a 3 and out.
Yeah.
They just happened to be in a field goal position when Justin Simmons, and I got to go back and look at it. Why did Justin Simmons fall down on that interception? I mean, I wish he kind of kept going. He just kind of sniper. He just got tripped over by a dirt devil, I guess. But, I'm not, maybe Justin Simmons should yell at Mike Kliss more often in the locker room during the week. Who knows?
Clearly gets him fired up. We've had a few people ask in the comments, is this the worst team in Broncos history?
Not yet, but it's pretty damn close. Well, they went 4-12 one year. That's how they got Von Miller. They went 4-12 with McDaniels, and McDaniels was fired, and Tebow came in. That was Tebow's second year. McDaniels last year. I mean, Rachel, that season was, they got caught cheating in England. They had the Rams game that there were like 25,000 no-shows. And don't forget, the Broncos they had terrible teams in the 60s, Rachel. Terrible. Yeah. They were horrific. So I think is this the worst Broncos team in the past decade? Because or how about this? Of the 6 straight losing seasons, is this the worst team from those 6 straight losing seasons? Which should be amazing to say, because you have to factor in Vance Joseph's, 8 losses in a row team into that. And I forget what they went overall that particular year. They went 4-12 in that last year of McDaniels, when Eric Studesville was the replacement coach and Tebow came in at the end of the season. And are they worse than that team? God, that's hard for me to say, Rach, because the defense actually is pretty darn good, really good. I think it's the worst offense I've ever seen. But it's the worst offense I've ever seen, period. This offense is worse than the Tim Tebow offense. It is. Tim Tebow couldn't throw the ball, but he could run it. And every now and then he could throw the ball. And they got touchdowns with Tim Tebow. They did. I mean, it was terrible and it was inconsistent and it didn't look good and the numbers were bad. But the offense actually did move the ball and score some touchdowns. Tim Tebow was like, I think 8-5, Rachel, as a starter. Tim Tebow won a playoff game in which he threw for 313 yards against the Steelers. Yeah. I mean, I have never seen anything this bad.
You have no hope whenever you see this offense get out on the field. It's truly sad. But while we wait for James Merrill, I know I teased him coming on a little bit earlier. Nathaniel Hackett has not still talked to the media, so you wonder what's happening in the locker room.
Whoa. What?
He still has not talked.
Really?
Yeah, I know. Interesting. So we're going to wait to find out. But there's some exciting news that is still happening in Colorado involving football. And that is that Deion Sanders is the next coach for CU. And we do have some very good friends of ours, Jake Shapiro and Matt Smith, who are up in Boulder. Gentlemen, hello. How are you?
Hey, we're guys. Great. It's a great day in Boulder. It's always a beautiful day in Boulder, but today is a particularly beautiful day in Boulder.
Hey, how are you?
Well, good. I know there was so many people up there that were here for Prime's press conference. What did we learn? What's the excitement level?
It is off the chart. You really didn't feel a buzz like that, maybe ever. I don't think I've ever felt that around the program. It was very smart how Rick George did it. He had all the donors come along with the media because they were on a time crunch. So it ended up being a big festival that everybody was just celebrating, the fact that Coach Prime was here. And I think what was interesting is Rick said, it's a clean slate. Everything's a clean slate. From here on out, I know you've been frustrated. I know you've been upset, but from here on out, we're starting fresh. And it was kind of a symptom, I think a signal of the fact that there's been a lot of criticism and heat that the program's taken over the last several years, specifically him, I mean, with the new president coming in, even Jake was mentioning it earlier, maybe his job was, I don't know, his job status was up in the air if he made another bad hire. But at this point, I mean, I said this morning on the air, grand bleep and slam. And the vibe in there, worth every penny. And if it's half, if he's half as successful as he is confident, then I can only imagine what's going to go on behind us here at Folsom Field.
This is just day one of the circus. We're welcome to the circus in Boulder, Colorado. This is the circus of great college football teams, and that's what Deion Sanders hopes to build. He was not mincing any words when he talked about how he hopes the expectations that he has are as high as what the fans have. Like, he's talking about the fans raising their already high expectations. Rick George said from day one of trying to get this hire right, we want to return to national prominence. Well, the Buffaloes already landed a 5-star recruit and one of the best quarterbacks in FCS, today. So this is just the start, and the excitement. Matt, me and you have lived here. We're Boulder residents. I have never seen the community this pumped up about Colorado Buffaloes football. Granted, we're a little bit older than the championship run, but man, this is different.
I thought it was really interesting when there were a lot of questions. Well, would Shador, his son, join him to play quarterback? He was interested in his entire family, and he said, my son Shador, and he stood up and everybody applauded, and he said, that's your quarterback. which I thought was pretty cool because that was obviously one of the bigger questions. The very short question and answer period. Apparently, he's going to come back on Friday. They had some other prior engagements, so I mean the buzz is palpable. And again, this is the most exciting time for the program in a long time. And if he, like I said, if he can be half as successful as he is confident, because he's going to snow everybody over because he's got a bazillion one-liners and media training, so he knows what you're asking before you even ask it. You know, he's going to win over the fan base. He's going to win over the media. And he's going to put a really good product on the field because the Buffs have been missing talent for a really long time. And certainly right now, there's a severe lack of it. And any sort of infusion into this program is going to do wonders.
You can't be stressed when you're this blessed, guys.
That's what he said. You can't be stressed when you're this blessed. Look at that sunshine, DMac. Look at that sunshine.
Love it.
There it is.
Love it.
All right. Well, we will catch up with both of
Hey,
these
how's that
gentlemen.
Broncos game? Did they lose?
Crazy.
No. Broncos lost?
They did.
Did they blow at the end?
Whoa. What are you trolling the Broncos? It's not that good up at CU. Easy.
I was
Slow
going
down
to say,
there,
let's be honest. The circus started with the Broncos first, everybody, and look at where we are now. So let's get out and play some football before we all hop on it. Enjoy the celebration, you guys, because I know it's an exciting time to be up in Boulder. And we'll sit down and talk with you both later on.
Hey, is Hackett fired yet? We'll see you guys.
Bye, guys. All right, while we do that, Nathaniel Hackett did indeed talk to the media. What's funny, though, is it when they said the circus, James, I know you're a CU guy. I'm sorry, I'm going to kind of bash here. When they said, oh, the circus is starting, like this is just a first beginning, I think of the Russell Wilson Hackett circus and where the heck we are now. So I'm like, I don't think you want to be associated with the circus.
Nope, I think that's fair. I think we all got to be cautiously optimistic about everything at this point, but don't go in just assuming it's going to turn around. Nathaniel Hackett today, let me see if you guys have heard this before. We got to finish. We got to be accountable. It all starts with the coaches. Got to be better on third down, and got to give credit to the Ravens. That was what we heard today. Nathaniel Hackett, though, like stone-faced, not even anywhere near a smile. Like that guy, you know how when somebody becomes president, they show the before and after photo, and like they've aged, like in 4 years, they've aged like 14 years. Yeah. Nathaniel Hackett is just a beaten man at this point. Like what's he gonna say after that one? But yeah, he didn't offer much. No takeaways from the press conference that are going to be the big talking points. Just a guy that, throwing up his hand saying, hey, we got to be better. They didn't get into the red zone today. I mean, it's remarkable. Every week it's like, it can't get worse. I think today was worse. I mean, just finding another way to lose. Brandon McManus with the chance to be the hero doesn't come close. Rinse and repeat. That's what the Broncos are at this point.
James, I asked DMac this question. Who's to blame? Is it the offense or is it the defense for the collapse?
Listen, it's on the defense. You've got to lead. It's a 91-yard drive in the final 5 minutes. Like, I don't care what you did up to that point. You have to finish. You have to close. The offense gave you a lead. They didn't turn the ball over. They didn't put you in a bad spot. It's the same thing we said with Vic Fangio, right? When they would lose 16-15 to the Bears, and it would be, you didn't do enough on offense. They gave you a lead late in the game. You're a defensive team. That's your strength. You want to rely on that late in the game. You got to be able to close it. Yeah, you played great for 55 minutes, but at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if you can't hold the lead to a backup quarterback going 91 yards and you commit 2 foolish penalties on that drive to help them out. So, I mean, Rachel, I guess it's on the defense, but here's the other thing. Broncos had the ball like at their own 40 with 5 minutes to go, 2nd and 5, 2nd and 6, incomplete. If you get one first down there, you're in field goal range and you go up 9 points and the game is over. They just can't make the critical play when they have to. They just can't. It's you know what else with those, like Justin Simmons knocks the ball free on the last drive, right? Forces the fumble. Nobody notices it. It rolls out of bounds. Yep. If that's not a microcosm of the Broncos season of like, it's there and they just can't grab it and take it, I don't know what is, but yeah, I mean, 6 straight losing season. It's now official. Remarkable. You know how many touchdowns they've scored since Halloween, since my birthday?
2.
0.
3.
3.
3 touchdowns. It's December 4th. Like Halloween was in October. So
Hey,
since
guys, they haven't won a game in America since September.
Oh my gosh.
yeah.
How's that for
So
some perspective?
depressing.
I mean, they are 0 for America since they beat the Niners on Sunday Night Football 11-10.
Oh, for America.
I mean,
So on that last drive, as I'm looking it up, the Ravens converted 2 4th downs, and it was a 3rd down with Pat Surtain's pass interference.
Yep.
And poster boy Alex Singleton got a unnecessary roughness call. Like, your best players, and we know they're their best players because clearly Patrick Surtain is generational, and clearly Alex Singleton deserved to be on a poster with Lamar Jackson. So your two best players screwed up on that final drive to keep the drive alive.
Yep.
I don't know what to say here, man. And listen, I'm glad Justin Simmons had 2 interceptions. The second one was handed to him. So I'm glad he caught a ball that was thrown into his stomach. And even the first interception was good for Justin Simmons for making the play. I don't know why he fell over as he was running. They did kick a field goal on that. But listen, Hackett's just not the guy. And there's no other way to put it. There's coaches that can figure out how to get it done, and there's coaches that figure out how to blow it. I heard the announcers talk about, it's not so bad because look at all the close losses. And I say just the exact opposite. Mm-hmm. Good coaches figure out how to get close wins, not close. The last thing you want to do is keep a coach who gets you close losses. Obviously, the team is good enough to win many of those games, and you got a team that loses all of the close games, aside from the close win over the 49ers back, 0 for America in September.
I believe this is the 5th time this year they've had a halftime lead and lost.
Yeah.
Well, we talked about it at halftime, Rachel, right? Like, what are they going to do in the second half? They had 3 points. It came on a drive where they got no first downs. It was after the pick. So they did nothing offensively. And look, Russell Wilson was fine today. He wasn't the problem.
He was all right.
The last drive, he got him down there. He got him a shot. I mean, he had the nice run. He had the nice throw to Jerry Jeudy. He's working. If I see another play where Kendall Hinton is the key block at the point of attack and he gets blown backwards, I mean, what are we doing here?
What about throwing him off for Washington?
Here's the problem. What Russell Wilson was okay. His numbers were almost identical to Tyler Huntley. Almost identical. So Russell Wilson was 17 of 22 for 189. Tyler Huntley was 27 of 32. So only 5 missed passes, all very short attempts for 187. So they threw for practically the same amount of yards. Both were sacked twice. The difference was Huntley did throw a bad interception and Russ didn't. The fact that we're comparing Russell Wilson and he's head-to-head with Tyler Huntley, that's a problem, guys. And look at 189 yards. Well, I mean, you got 40 of those on one play to Jerry Jeudy, and another one came on 30 yards to Dulcich. So you had 2 passes of 70 yards. And we knew that the Ravens would give up big chunk plays on passing. We talked all about that. But you gave up 70 yards. So if you take that away, you're talking about a passing day for 120 yards for Russell Wilson. $120 if you take those 2 away on 15 of 20.
But guys, it's the 4th time this year this offense has scored exactly 9 points in a game. 4 times in the modern NFL, in a pass-happy, offensive-focused league. 4 times in 12 games, they've scored exactly 9 points as an offense. I mean, it's remarkably bad. Nathaniel Hackett's a nice guy, but if he's at the podium tomorrow, DMac, tomorrow afternoon for his press conference, why? What are we doing?
Because the Penners are now proving they don't know what they're doing. They're proving they're too hesitant. They really don't know what they're doing. and they were hoping this would just be an easy sort of honeymoon period year. Listen, I got to give CU credit, okay? I'm going to give CU credit. They saw the problems with Darrell in October and just said, forget it. This is not going to work. And all these boo-hoo people about, oh, if you fire the coach in the season, you can't hire anybody good. Anybody with confidence is going to know they can do better than that ding-dong before. Do you think Deion Sanders wasn't going to come here because you blew out Carl Darrell? What are you, nuts?
Right.
Cute.
Perfect point. Perfect point. I don't want to go there. They fired Darrell mid-season. Laughable.
Laughable, because any coach worth his weight in gold will have confidence and leadership skills. Listen, it took about 5 seconds during that Deion Sanders presser to realize he's the best coach they've ever hired. We'll see how it turns out. But in college football, it's recruiting that's at the top, okay? And then you kind of go from there. In pro football, it's the quarterback that's at the top, and you go from there. So it's kind of different roles. But I guarantee you, if you hired Deion Sanders for the Broncos, you'd get a better result next week. It would be like a light switch. It would be Charlie Puth. You turn me on like a light switch. Flick it off for Hackett. Move on.
Anytime the three of us are in a room, it seems like, or on a screen together, we get frustrated because we all agree at some point. But James, as always, appreciate you, and to everybody else too for hanging out with us here on Postgame Live. The three of us will be back tomorrow morning, 10:30 a.m. for coffee break to continue to break all of this down. So come hang out with us. Come tell us how frustrated you are. To be honest, I'm loving the comments section right now. So we'll be back tomorrow morning, 10:30 a.m. Thanks everybody for hanging out with us here on Postgame Live. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye.
Go Buffs.